So now we'll talk about the HTML headings. So search engines use the headings to index the structure and content of your web page. Users often skim a page by its headings. It is important to use headings to show the document structure. So as we all know that this H1 tag will be used for the main headings and followed by this H2 to H3, H4, H5 and H6 tags. So the HTML headings for headings only. Don't use the headings to make your text big or bold. So each HTML heading has a default size. Even though you can just specify the size of any heading with the style attribute which we have learned just before. So just by using the CSS font size property, you can just give you can just give the size to your HTML heading. Let me give the size to my h1 tag by just giving style attribute, which will be equal to uh, my font size is let me give my font size to be 70 pixels, and let me just close it with a semicolon, and then I'll just save it with Ctrl S and then go back to my page and refresh this. And let me just see, and here you can see how your heading is looking like. So it's much bigger than the previous one. So now let us see about the HTML paragraphs. So in the HTML paragraphs, a paragraph always starts on new line and is usually a block of text. So in the HTML, we use paragraphs to be with the P element which defines the paragraph. So a paragraph always starts on a new line, and then the browser all automatically adds some white space like a margin before and after the paragraph to like differentiate, like to create a difference between the previous element and the current paragraph which we are looking at. So you cannot be sure like how the HTML will be displayed. Like for we do have different kinds of screens like the large screen or the small screen, and resized windows will create different results for your paragraph. So the browser will automatically remove if there are any extra spaces and or in between the lines when the page is displayed. So with the HTML, you cannot change the display by adding extra spaces or extra lines in your HTML code. So this is the point that is need to be noted down. So we'll just see how that really works or what. So let me just give the spaces now, and let me see. Here you can see that there is no change in the paragraph. The paragraph remains as it is. So the browser automatically removed all the spaces in between the words, the text. So this is in the HTML you cannot change the appearance by just adding some spaces and all. So the browsers will automatically remove all the spaces, like all the extra spaces that you give in that you give in the content. So let me just make it the normal one, and then now we'll discuss about this HTML horizontal rules. The HR tag that defines the thematic break in an HTML page. So it is most often displayed as a horizontal rule. So the HR element is a new element that we are going to discuss now. So it is used to separate the content or define a change in an HTML page. So we'll see how can we use this. Let me just use it here after this first paragraph, HR. So this HR is an empty tag like the BR tag which we have discussed. So it do not even have this end tag. So the empty tags are something which do not have the end tag. So this we'll just see how this works. Let me just save this and let's reload this, and you can see. So this gives the break. This gives the break between the it gives the horizontal line between the two paragraphs. This is how this HR tag works. And then Now let's go here, and we already discussed about the BR tag, and now let's see the problem, the poem problem. So let's say you want to give a poem in the paragraph. Let me just quickly enter some poem here. So we can see now I have entered some poem. So I want this poem to be displayed in the same manner in the web page. But if I save this and if I run this, like if I just see how it looks on the web page, you can just see that it is appearing in the single line, so which we don't want. Like we want the poem to be appeared in the form we have written in this paragraph. So how can we overcome this problem? So we can use an element called as pre. So this pre element, so I'll show you. Instead of p, you can use this pre element here, and then this pre element defines the pre-formatted text. So the text inside the pre element is displayed in a fixed width font. It preserves the spaces and line breaks. So by using this we can just uh, keep the spaces as we have given, like what all the spaces and what all the breaks we need. So they will be taken and they will be displayed. So the spaces are preserved when we use this pre element. So let me save this now and let me check like how it's being displayed. And now we can see this displays somehow fine, like as our poem. So yes, save this and run this. Okay, so in this way you can just preserve the spaces and breaks on your paragraph for your paragraph. So you can use this new element that we have now learnt about is the pre element. And then now let's discuss about this style attribute, which we have already discussed a few of the uses of the style attributes in the previous parts. So now let's discuss in detail about the style attribute. So the HTML style attribute is used to add styles to an element, such as we have added the color to the elements in the before parts, and we even add the font size and many more we can do. So the HTML style attribute is used for setting the style of an HTML element, and we can do this by using this style named attribute. And the syntax is usually like this. I'll just show you the syntax. So this will be the tag name. So whatever tag it is, the tag name and the style. So the style is an attribute. It will be equals to something in it, the value. And then we can just make it like the name or property. We can say property colon value with the semicolon, and then this is closed, and then there will be some content, and then the closing tag name. So this is how it works. So this is the syntax of the style attribute. And then this is the property. This property is a css property. The value is the css value. So this value is the css value. So we'll be discussing about this also in the future parts. And for now let's discuss about different uses of the style property. So let me just delete this one, and then now let me just also delete this extra spaces. And yes, firstly we'll discuss about the background color. So the css background color property defines the background color of an html element. uh, Let me just say the body. So I want to give some styling to the body. I use this style attribute, and then that will be equal to, I'm using this background color property. So these are properties which you can use for any element. Background color, you can just see this background color is equals to, so I want it to be powder blue color. And then we are done with this giving this style attribute, and let's check how it appears on our web page. I'll save this and go back to our page, and let's refresh this. And here you can see we we added some background color to our page, and it looks really really good. uh, with like we can add some styling to the page, like not only adding the content, we can even style the content using this style attribute. And then, so not only for this, we can even set this background color to different elements. So let me just go back, and here let's say I want to give a background image background color to my pre element, like whatever content is in the pre element, I want that content to have this background color to be red. No, maybe not red, like you can just get these colors from the you can just go search in a browser regarding these colors and all. So you can get the names of the colors and the colors, what the color look like. So you can just choose one among them, and you can just place it over here in the document. So let's say I want to style with the color background color that is equal, that is tomato. And then after this, let me just save this, and then let me check for this. Let's reload this. Yeah, here you can see that the background color of this complete body is in powder blue. And then this poem which we have written in the paragraph, we have made the background color of that particular paragraph or that particular content, a poem, to be the tomato color. So this is how this all background color works with the style attribute. And then now let's jump on to the next property, that is css color property. This css color property we have already seen with this paragraph, and with with the h4 element we have seen, but we'll again do that with so let's say, okay, we'll just do it with h5 element. We can just give style equals to we'll use the property color. So color, and I want to give my color to be let's say yellow. Yellow is the color that I am interested. So save this, and let's go back to our site. Let's reload this, and you can see this yellow, this doesn't look so appealing, but I just want to show you the difference, like how it changes and all. And then let's go back, and then now we'll discuss about the another property of css, that is font family. So the family property defines the font that is to be used for an html element. So in the h1, we have this we can just use the font like in the h1 or h2, any element. So we'll just go for the h6 element, and or else we just go to the h2 element because it's more visible. So h2 element, and here we'll just give the style equals to font family. So font family, the font family, there are many font families which you can even go, you can even just go explore all the font families, and you can just choose one which will be suiting your own website. So I'll just choose one of the font family, that is this. And then let me save this, and then let's reload this, and here you can see the difference in the font. So in this way you can just change the font by using the style attribute and the property of font family from the css. And the next property that we're going to discuss is text size, or else we can even say font size. So what how much font size you need for your text. This we'll just choose this for our h1 only. So we have used this font size to be 70 pixels, or else we can even use it to be in the percentages. Let's say remove this, or else let's do it for our h2. We'll do it for our h2. um, we'll give the font size to be 160%, 160%. And let's save this and reload this. And here you can see the change in size of this h2. So in this way you can use the font size in the pixels or in the percentages. And the next property that we'll see is the text alignment. The another property of the css is text align, which defines the horizontal text alignment for an html element. So now we will just go and we'll use this text alignment also. So let's use this text alignment in this h3 element, and style text align, text align to be I use it center. So to align the text at the center, I use this text align property with the value center in the style attribute. So let me just save this and let's refresh this, and you can see this is aligned in the center. So this is how we use this cent align text align property of the css. So this is how the attribute style can be used to make your html page more visually better one, and also you can have more colors and alignment of text, and you can just make all the text, all the content in your web page look more beautiful with all the colors and all the alignments, with the font and font sizes and many more things. You can even explore more about this style attribute. So this is